Well, here's an oddity for you. Just been up to our local Sainsbury's, and on the way home, I've called in at our charity superstore, they call it, called Emmaus. And sometimes they have some quite nice vintage stuff there. There's a couple of ITT speakers, and they're the real McCoy from the early 70s, I should think, and they only want £5 for them, about $8, I suppose. And they must stand about the same height as this kitchen unit, so not exactly small. But dumped outside of Emmaus was the rather sad spectacle of an electronic organ. And in the electronic organ was this beast. Now, I didn't really know who made this at first. It was a bit difficult to tell. The organ maker's name started with an S, and I can't remember what it was, even after only about half an hour or so. But the cassette recorder part is made by Bell and Howell, who I think produce computer stuff nowadays. And it's made in Japan, and it's a model 57500, I think it says. And you can see it's very much like a Philips in the early days in a way. The cassette door is manual, and look at the chrome, it's all perfectly intact and everything. The gold finish that they put on here is worn away somewhat on the metal bit. You've got a little level gauge there. Now, if this was a portable, and I think it was made to be a portable, this chassis if you like, this little level gauge here would act as a recording level come battery indicator, And the innards, well, it's all built like a tank, and it has that same sort of high quality feel that the EL3302 did from Philips and its cousins. Very little wear there, really. I don't think this has seen much service. But it's definitely designed to do what it did. It would have been plumbed into the organ, because you couldn't really see the front here, and this was connected to a sort of multi-way connector. It's a microphone, auxiliary and earphone. So I would guess what probably happened was that the organ would supply the signal to the auxiliary so you could tape yourself playing, and then the earphone would provide an output to the organ's own amplifier. You can even see there where normally they would have put the little studs on that would have the carrying strap, because there's one each side of it, for heaven's sakes. And there's the amplifier circuit, very much like a Philips inside. You could see the heavy metal flywheel there, and it's got electronic motor control. There's your motor control board. It would normally, I'm sure, have been up here, because if you look at the chassis, you can see there where they've carefully made it so that I reckon this thing ran on 5 C cells as it came. You'd have had them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like a Philips. But what they've done is to put a little bit extra on the chassis here, so you can plug a lead in from your organ's innards, and that supplies power to this instead. Very clever adaptation, if a bit Heath Robinson, I have to say. By the look of it, they're germanium transistors. They do have that look about them, don't they? The whole thing looks very old-fashioned inside. But there's almost no wear at all on this mechanism. It's fantastic. It's like new, practically. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get any joy getting it to work, because if you look there, you could even see where they would have put the speaker if it had been a portable. So, but I suspect that a bit of Duradlit will polish all this chrome up again nicely, and the volume control is skew-whiffed there. It's probably broken, so just needs a little bit of super glue, I expect. But like a lot of these early ones, the fast forward key won't lock down, and they were made like that. Whereas rewind, when you reach the end of the tape, that will, you see, that locks down. But yeah, everything seems to be pretty nice mechanically. The belt in it was absolutely shot. And unfortunately, the organ had been rained on, so it wasn't worth me even trying to. Well, I don't think I could have got it in my car anyway, quite honestly. But yeah, it just seemed a shame to let this go to the landfill with the rest of it, you know. So yeah, maybe I'll try and get this to work. You never know, I might be able to make a base for it out of plywood or something, I suppose, or you know, use this and then make another part for it. As it was fitted to the chassis of the organ to the left of the keyboard with this bracket bolted in from underneath, but it was all loose. And I was just able to pick it up and said to the chap at Emmaus, I asked him, you know, oh, any chance of having this? He said, oh yeah, mate, take it away. So take it away I did. But yeah, quite a nice little piece of kit. Solid state cassette recorder, very much of its time, isn't it? All wood and chrome and black. But yeah, I think that was well worth saving from the tip. Anyway, see you soon.